Yeah. I'm coming your way, I'm right in your face with something to say. I know that you ball, I know that you play like girls in the WNBA.
Just playing.
Girl, we never gon' fade. I know how it be when you be in LA or go MIA.
So today I will be taking y'all through my study routine for my human and body class. This routine has helped me pass all of my exams for the first month. I passed my first 3 exams. 2 of them were for a different class, but my first one was for my human and body class, and I did get an 88. I'm aiming to get a little higher now that I have a structured routine on how I study. I currently have 3 days until my human and body exam. My human and body exam on Monday will be covering 4 chapters. So in this video, you will see that I prioritize 3 main ways of learning my material. One, of course, you're gonna need your materials. You need whatever materials from your exam, whatever materials that your teacher gave you, any type of worksheets. I personally recommend investing in either ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, DeepSeek. There's a lot of badness that comes from using AI. People have their opinions. Honestly, because I'm aware of the usage of chat and the usage of any type of AI software, I know there's good things and bad things, but here we are using it for our education and personal gain. I brought myself a couple new markers to help me write out certain things in color. It just kind of helps as well, writing in different colors for certain terms. All right, so let's get into the study routine. I will be utilizing my whiteboard. These are the notes that I use for my human and body class. I upload my PowerPoints into chat so that way it has the material that I need to test me on, and as well as what I'm looking for. When using AI, you need to make sure that you're using your exact material because it will pull from all these resources around the world, and you don't want to get stuck in that gray area where it's pulling from resources that are, one, not correct, and one, not in your curriculum. So definitely use every material that you have from school. Go over these before I go to class so that way I'm not completely in the dark as to what the teacher is talking about. I can make more of a connection when the teacher is going off the notes because I can recall what I have read through my study notes. For my exam on Monday, it will be through chapters 10 to 13. I will be using my textbook to study for these chapters as well. If I have more time, I read through each chapter that is correlating with what I'm going to be needing for my test. You can read it all you want to, but if you're not understanding what you're reading, then it makes no sense. You know what I mean? It's a pretty big textbook. This is mine. Somebody let me have their book. I'm very thankful for that. So we will be using this bad boy. Class like this, getting a book is definitely something I recommend. It's basically on your own terms. I cannot really choose that for you. Some people need the textbook and want to study from the textbook, but some people are better off without textbooks. Something else that I also recommend you to get is a binder and a couple folders. So this is my binder that I take to school with me every day. We have a couple worksheets that my teacher will give to us, and I separate them by folder. All right, so another thing that I recommend getting is obviously a book bag or a reliable book bag. When I first started my courses, I was carrying all of my stuff in my MCM bag. Right now, this black JanSport book bag is my favorite. So I also have this cute badge reel. I got this off Amazon, and I will also link it down below, as well as where I got this book bag. Whenever I want to remember certain due dates, homework assignments, anything important, I'll jot it down in this little notepad. When I'm in lab, I also have a clipboard. You're not gonna have anywhere to write, and I don't want to keep writing on my binder. It's not really flexible, so me getting a clipboard was probably the best thing I did. Also able to just slide this in my binder, in the back of my binder, so that way it just stays safe, and all my papers kind of stay in one place for my check off. But some other materials that are needed for nursing school is a reliable laptop. There are certain softwares that you're gonna need to do your assignments on, and some of those are not compliable with an iPad or any type of tablet. You don't have to get a MacBook. You can get an HP, you can get a Dell, just a reliable computer. It just makes it a little easier, and it makes it easier for me to focus actually on what the professor is saying rather than writing it down, trying to make sure it's neat and cute. Yeah, this is an older iPad. I'm not too sure what iPad this is, but it did come with a keyboard and everything. But realistically, I use my MacBook and my printed out notes, and those get me through my class really easy. So yeah, if you have an iPad, I do recommend using it. The chapters that I'm going to be studying are the nervous system, the senses, the endocrine system, and the blood. I'll give myself a scale to rate myself on how well I know these things. Right now, I'll say I'm at like a 5 out of 10 on knowing everything in my chapters. I hope to be at a 7 or 8 by the end of tonight. What colors should I pick? These are my 3 colors of choices that I'm going to use for today. Choose a color that you would like to assign to that chapter that you're learning. I'm going to do the nervous system in pink. I'm going to go through and write down all of my material that's in chapter 10 just to give my brain a review as to what is to be expected in the nervous system. Okay, so I have finished writing out all of my notes for chapter 10. 2 a.m. Yes, 2:10 a.m. I'm gonna take a little break, but before I take my break, I want to go over all of my notes and make sure that I get an understanding of how this system works. It's one thing to write it out, but it's another thing to make sure that you're understanding it. So during this like 10-minute process, I'm going to go over this and read it back to myself and make sure that I understand how all of this works and why it's important. So I'm gonna give myself to 2:20 to go over all of this and understand. And I also am using my textbook and chat to make sure I can understand any type of questions I may have that I can't really ask my teacher right now. So it is about 2:52. I made me something to drink. Remember y'all, I slept like all day. That's the reason why I'm up late. So after I've went over and reviewed all of my notes for this chapter, I'm gonna do an active recall. And in my study notes, I already have an active recall printed out in my study notes. So what I'll do is I'll just go over all of this, and then I'll write it out separate from this and not looking at this, because I should know this if I already reviewed it. That would show me what is my strongest suit and what is not my strongest suit. And whatever is not my strongest suit, I'm gonna go in and study that particular area more. I'm not gonna go into detail answering it for this specific subject because we're gonna be here all day. Don't think that you guys want to sit here and learn this with me. I mean, if you do, let me know, comment down below, and I'll be more than happy to do that. But it's a lot of footage to record and go over, and like you guys, I'm learning this too, so I finished my post-test or my pre-test on ChatGPT, and I know the amount of material, about 75%. What I got wrong from this pre-test, I will incorporate more studying into and making sure that I know the material really well when it comes to the answers that I missed. And I want to understand why I missed those questions, why I got it confused, and what is the correct answer, and focus on what I'm not strong at. So yeah, I'm gonna call it a night, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. All right, good morning, my beautiful nursing besties. August 8th, it's currently 1:55. I typically try to eat a heavy breakfast, and then I don't eat again till like later tonight. Cleaned up, I've prepped my lunch for work, and I have about 5-6 hours for me to study. So now it is time to move on from chapter 10. Like I told you, I have 4 chapters that I need to study for my exam on Monday. I already kind of took a picture of this board. I scanned it and I put it in my notes. So I'm gonna go ahead and erase this. It looks so pretty, but it's time for it to go. So I'm gonna go through my chapter 11 notes. I've already highlighted a couple key terms that I heard my professor talk about. I also have some things written down in this paperwork that my professor also was talking about in our lecture that was really important. So I'm gonna go through and read over that and make sure that I'm retaining the knowledge from my notes and my lecture notes. coffee. It is 5:42, so I have about 3 hours. The goal is to check how well the information is explained, not to test the learner. So really it's just like a sequence that I go through for each one, and then I do the sequence again for all the chapters. This beautiful board is going to have to go away. I don't know, I hate to see it go, like. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take an active recall practice test on the blood chapter, and then after that, little potty break. I'm gonna let my mind reset from learning all this information, and then from there, around like 7:15, I'll come back and I'll let you guys know what the next deal is. Okay, so I am back. It is currently almost 7:30. It's 7:24. I have about 45 minutes to write over my endocrine system before I leave for work. I'm gonna test myself. Hopefully I have enough time to test myself on the endocrine system. Like I said, I wrote it out like last week. Like I did it already, but I want to do it one more time just so I can say that I wrote out all my chapters and I worked through it. Then from here, since I've gone over each section, I'm gonna spam pretest. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and erase this. I already scanned it in my documents, so I'm gonna go ahead and erase this and start off with the endocrine system, and then we'll be done writing out our notes. Thank God. It is currently 8:06. I am done with my endocrine chapter, so I'm going to scan this in my documents. You guys already know the deal. We're gonna go right back through that whole process that we did in the beginning of this video. Now that I have done this chapter, I told you guys what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and pack up and go to work, and now I have a study basis to do and what I can teach myself tonight and tomorrow before my test. And I will catch up with you guys on Monday after my test. It's been a minute since I talked to y'all. 3:16. I took my exam yesterday, but I don't want to wrap this video up until I know what score I got. I'm kind of nervous because I'm so tired. Like, yeah. I'll talk to y'all later tonight. We don't have no work, so I'll go straight home. Amen. And we'll digress and talk more later. Okay, you guys, so it is Chaz and I'm back again. I just wanted to come in here and wrap up today's video. I hope this gave you a better idea of how I study for my exams in LPN school, especially active recall, practice questions, going back over what I got wrong. If you're in nursing school too, just know that you don't have to know everything right away once you're studying. Keep reviewing, keep practicing, and figure out what works for you. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe if you want to follow with me through my LPN journey. I'll see you guys in the next video.